Ollie, you alright?
Hello, Daddy.
Hello, Scarlett.
Daddy, what do you do all day?
Well, my business MSnet and I help businesses protect themselves from the threat of cybercrime and protection of data, providing consultancy, training and cybersecurity services.
But what is this gobbledygook cyber thing you keep talking about?
Cybercrime describes how modern criminals are adapting to the ever-changing environment and deploying sophisticated and adaptive technology.
Wait. I'm a kid. What does this even mean? Let's try again. What is cybercrime?
Good point. Cyber just means something to do with the internet or computers. Cyber criminals are when criminals commit crimes using the internet or computers. This could be by breaking into websites, by breaking into networks, stealing data, or holding information to ransom. And cybersecurity are companies like MSnet who put in place the training and the services to stop cyber criminals.
That's better. So tell me more about cybercrime.
Cybercrime is a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's loads of zeros. These are run by professional criminal gangs using highly talented people. These people get holiday days, they get time off, they have sales targets. This is a very driven industry. This occurred in 2020 when the pandemic started and the criminals realised that they could target people working from home. And it's grown 100 to 200% year on year. The tactics they use vary and can be a combination of malware, ransomware, and even attacking websites and networks directly. Cybercriminals use the dark web to then sell that data that they steal.
What's the dark web? That sounds scary.
The internet is like an iceberg. The top of the iceberg, which floats above the water, is the surface web. And that accounts for about 5% of the size of the internet. The rest of the internet is known as the deep web. And this contains databases and other businesses that are trading on the internet. But these aren't indexed by the likes of Google, so people don't know how to get there. A subsection of this deep web is the dark web. The dark web is associated with illicit trading and criminals. You need specialist tools to enter the dark web, which allow you to enter. Here, there are dark web marketplaces, which are used to sell the stolen data and illegal services and activities.
This is scary. It sounds worse than Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, I guess so.
So what is a computer virus? Is it like COVID?
A computer virus is a piece of software that's designed to do damage to a computer. It may have different results, but they all have the same idea. In fact, the first computer virus was released in 1986 called Brian, and it was sent to computer users on 5¼ floppy disks. That's a reference for the over 40s.
How do you get a computer virus now?
Well, computer viruses and malware are spread in a range of different ways, but one of the ways is email. 90% of cyber attacks come into a business via email, either as an attachment or as a link within an email. Another way to get a virus or malware might be to be tricked in downloading it, or sometimes physical devices are left to be inadvertently plugged in by end users. Computer viruses don't just affect computers, they also affect smartphones and tablets too.
Uncle Tim was saying that he doesn't need to protect his computer as it's a Mac.
There was a belief that Macs weren't susceptible to viruses, and this used to be true to some extent. But this was mainly due to the fact that computer viruses are very complicated to write, and so the cyber criminals concentrated on the biggest market, which were PCs. As the popularity of Macs and other products have come in, this is no longer the case. In fact, Apple themselves, whilst have designed a very secure system, admit that Apple Macs are indeed vulnerable to malware and viruses. In fact, this is not just related to Macs. Other operating systems, such as Linux or Ubuntu, are also affected by computer viruses. In fact, it's safe to say any device nowadays is susceptible to cyber attack.
How would I know if my computer was infected? Does it have spots?
No. In fact, many people don't realise their computer is infected until much later. Cybercriminals start by infecting a computer and then they'll look to see what they can do with it. Sometimes they'll turn it into a botnet, which means it's remotely controlled by that cybercriminal, and they can then use this to launch attacks on other people. Sometimes the cybercriminals will just monitor to see what kind of computer they've got before they launch an attack, or worse.
Why do cyber baddies attack businesses?
Businesses are popular targets due to their activities and the data that they handle. For example, professional services companies such as accountants or lawyers handle very sensitive information. This is highly prized by the cybercriminals and can be sold on the dark web.
How can businesses protect themselves?
Cybersecurity is a multi-layered solution and requires different layers to protect. The first layer we recommend is training. Your employees are your best line of defence against cybercrime, and providing them the right tools and know what to look out for greatly reduces the chance for becoming a victim. Next is technology. We can put in multi-layers of technology to provide protection and reduce the threat of cybercrime. This technology can start at the front by looking out for suspicious emails or attachments that are coming into the business. Next, an advanced endpoint protection software which looks for patterns of behaviour rather than traditional antivirus will stop zero-day attacks and put in place the support that's required. But it's important to make sure your data is backed up. Cybercriminals know that you back your data up, and so they delete it. That makes you more susceptible to paying the ransomware. So putting in place good quality off-site incremental backups is important.
If I started a business, where can I get information about cybersecurity?
In the UK, we've got a number of different ranges of sources of information for cybersecurity. Firstly, there's the NCSC, the National Cybersecurity Centre, which is government-backed and provides information for businesses of all sizes about cybersecurity and how to protect themselves. Next, there's the Cyber Essentials Scheme, which is a scheme, again, government-backed, which leads businesses through the journey of becoming cyber secure. It takes them through the processes and explains what needs to be done to make sure they've got the correct facilities and procedures in place. Once they've successfully passed the assessment, they can let their customers know they are cyber secure. Lastly, there's MSnet. MSnet offers business free cybersecurity advice. We also are very active on socials, posting information about the latest threats and trends. We offer training and consultancy services and work with businesses of all sizes to make sure that they've got the relevant and appropriate cybersecurity in place.
Can cybercriminals delete my Roblox account?
Oh, great question. Hopefully not. I'm sure all the proper cybersecurity services are in place to protect you from that.
Why do you put boring cyber stuff on Facebook and Insta?
Cybercrime is constantly changing, and cybercriminals are constantly evolving and updating their tricks to make sure that they fool more and more people. They use current affairs to keep on top of the latest things that are going on so that it's relevant to the audience. MSnet put information onto all the social channels to keep our customers and followers aware of the latest trends and what's happening, so that businesses can make sure they're in the know.
I prefer watching dog videos, but it's good to know your content is out there. What scary cyber attacks are happening the most right now?
Cybercrime is constantly changing, and the threats change with that. But there are common themes that run through all of these. At the moment, we're seeing lots of email crime coming in. 90% of cyber attacks are coming in via email, and so this is one of the most important parts to protect a business. Next, we're seeing SMS being used to transmit URLs that people can log on to and download infected content. The email threats are often scattergun in their approach, in the fact that the business isn't specifically targeted. Gone are the days of an email from a faraway prince who wishes to share an inheritance with you. These emails are well scripted and thought about, and use content of psychology to pull the user in and to get them to engage with the email. At the end, the goal is to deliver malware or ransomware to encrypt your files.
What is randomware?
Ransomware is when a cybercriminal installs a piece of software that steals your data and encrypts it with a special key. That makes the data unreadable. The only way to see your data again is to have the unlock key, which a cybercriminal will request a ransom for. The issue is, often, even if the ransom is paid, the data is unable to be unencrypted. Or, what's worse, the cybercriminals have taken a copy of that data and are selling it on the dark web.
But what is malware?
Malware means malicious software, and it can be used to deliver Trojans, ransomware, and viruses. It's specifically written by cybercriminals to deliver their attack on a computer.
Why do cyber baddies always break into people's emails?
Emails are an important business communication tool. They handle lots of information and critical data and contain sensitive information as well. So breaking into an email box provides a cybercriminal access to this data. It also allows the cybercriminal to launch another attack, pretending to be the mailbox owner. Emails are hosted on the internet for ease of use by the mailbox user, but this also means that a cybercriminal can access the hosting. Normally, it's a bad password or compromised password that lets the cybercriminal gain access to the email.
How do cyber baddies break into people's emails?
Email boxes are hosted on the internet for ease of use by the mailbox user. They can access them from anywhere on any device, but this also means the cybercriminals can get access to them. Normally, a cybercriminal can get into an email box by the password. This means that the mailbox owner either had a weak password or that the password has been compromised and has been sold on the dark web.
What's a good password, and why are adults always putting a 1 and an exclamation mark at the end?
That's a great question, and for that we have to go back in time. Passwords were strengthened a number of years ago, and we were all asked to put a number and a special symbol on the end. A lot of people chose the number 1 and an exclamation mark, and this is stuck even now. Another popular one is to put the year at the end of your password, and this again is seen a lot. Cybercriminals know this, and so if they have access to one of your old passwords, they run that password through automated software which will produce the most likely password you're using now. People are using passwords on multiple devices or variations of passwords on multiple devices. So if a cybercriminal can find one of your old passwords, they can work out probably your new passwords. Then they use automated software to go out and slowly try and get into popular sites using that combination until they have success. A good password is one that's hard to guess. We recommend using a password manager. A password manager stores individual random passwords for each password requirement. These are a combination of numbers, letters, and symbols that you'll never see or understand. You don't have to. That's the password manager's job. Each requirement has an individual password. So if your account is hacked or broken into, they can only get into that one password. They then can't engineer the other passwords. However, if you don't want to use a password manager, we recommend passphrases. These are 3 numbers or letters that you can combine together that are easy to remember but wouldn't normally be connected. For example, sunshine 58 curry.
How do you stop cyber baddies, Daddy?
It's no longer a matter of if a business is going to be exposed to a cyber attack, but when. And so I work with businesses to understand their technology and how they have defences in place. I could then provide training and consultancy and technical services to help that business with appropriate security. I work closely with that business to understand what's right for them.
Do I need to worry about cybercrime?
Individuals and businesses are all targets for cybercrime, but with the right protection in place and training, no.
Are my devices protected?
Yes. In addition to the child protection software that's on your devices, you also have security software on there that protects you from cybercrime. But it's important to remember what you've been taught. If something feels wrong or you don't like where you've gone, it's important to tell an adult. In fact, we use this lesson in business as well. We train our employees that it's good to talk about cybercrime, and if they do see an attack or they do think they clicked on a link, to be a cybersecurity champion and to report that to the business, because then the professionals can look into it and deal with the problem before it's too late.
What's your super cyber power, Daddy?
I help businesses large and small to understand the risk that cybercrime presents and then put in place the appropriate solutions to help them reduce the threat of cybercrime. That can be in a combination of training, policies, consultancy and technical services. The important part is working together with that business to put in place the appropriate measures.
That's not quite as cool as Spider-Man. How much pocket money does cybersecurity cost?
MSnet offer a range of services to help businesses protect themselves from the threat of cybercrime. Our model is to make these services easy to understand and budget for by offering affordable, monthly, per user, per month services. For example, our email protection and advanced endpoint security software both start from as little as £2.50 per user per month.
Thank you very much, Daddy. This has been a fun interview. Can I get ice cream now?
Yes, we can. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. That work? High five, Squigs.
Yes, now.
Go on, high five. Boom.